Good day, creators. How are you guys doing today? So I am back with another thing that I've been like so waiting for, guys. I mean, like, I've spent so long figuring out what recipe, what I like, who had this, who had that, and I finally did all my research. I got all the items, and I'm just so excited to share this with you. And it's gonna be awesome. So I am going to do an attempt on paper clay, but using joint compound and also recycled paper. I'm going to bring you guys over there to let you see what I'm talking about, and then we're going to make this together and we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to give you guys information and we're just going to play around with it. And then later on, hopefully I'm going to get this video out before I do the stream. But right now, like I said, I'm just too excited to get this done. So I might just make the clay and then like just jump into making it. Who knows? But then also, you know, we all know me. I'm going to wait a little bit. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and switch over and show you guys the ingredients. And we'll get started. And we're just going to get all messy. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be easy. And you can substitute all of these ingredients for homemade stuff. I mean, toilet paper you can substitute this with, just everyday like line paper from school, newspaper, I mean, anything like that, cardboard, if you like let it, we'll go into all that later on. But yeah, I mean, even with like the joint compound, you could totally substitute that with something else. But it's all fun and games, right? So at least that's what I'm hoping to build with all this wonderful stuff. But let's jump on over, and I want to get my hands dirty. So I'll see you guys on the next step. And welcome back, guys. So as you can see, I have the joint compound. I did get the really big guy because, like I said, I am so excited for this. And it was just, I mean, compared to the big guy they're going to get, I found this at my local Lowe's, and it was like $11. It was like super cheap, and I grabbed it. I mean, I was like, where's the big stuff? The same thing with this. I was all finding the small guys. I'm like, no, I need the big guy. They looked at me like I was funny. But anyway, I found both of these at Lowe's, really cheap. I mean, I'll have all the information down below. The same thing with this. This is 85% recycled, and yeah, it's great. And I'll bring you over when we do the clay and mix it up. I'll go ahead and show this to you. I just don't want to get a lot everywhere because it does get pretty flaky. And I just have cats, so I don't want to get the dust everywhere, especially with me being inside right now. These you can also get at Walmart or your local hardware store or anywhere else. And these are, I don't know, pretty cheap as well. I think like under $5. But I could be totally off base on that one. I will be cutting this down a little bit so it fits in here. Then you can just store this outside in your garage or whatever. As long as it's sealed, you won't have to worry about anything going in there. You do always have to pay attention for rodents or animals that might want to dwell in here. So I will have all the information for both these, like the numbers and everything. So yeah. This is just our flour here, and this is 6 cups of flour. And once again, I just have it already out here because, I mean, who wants 2-cup, you guys know what I'm saying, just laying out. And also I'm the one kind of a person who's like, yeah, I am married, but I'm pretty bachelorette when it comes to eating. I don't want to make a whole bunch of dishes. So it just made more sense to go ahead and use what I'm going to be having with it. This is going to be 3 of these make 1 cup. So you need 1 cup of your joint compound or drywall or whatever it is. Oh, this stuff looks so funny. It's going to be so gooey. I mean, it just comes out really easy. They look heaping, but they're not. I have a whole bunch of gap here in the bottom. So that's why it looks so... Oh, look, we already have cat hair, and it's only been open since I've been talking. But yeah, this is actually going to be so much fun. And then later on in a few days, so that was 3. I'm just going to keep with 3 because that's what the recipe calls for, is just 1 cup. Later on, I'm going to adjust it to what I prefer. But like I said, at this time, I've just done so much research. And this is just what I found that I wanted to achieve. But like anything, you want to adjust your own style. Take what you learn and then share. And that's how we all learn, right? And that's how I'm learning. So yeah, so we have our 1 cup of Joy Compound. I have a whole bunch of this already out there. And I'm actually using a laundry detergent container because it's just like I said, you just don't want that. I mean, you have the room, you can definitely keep it up anywhere you want, but I'm going to keep this outside, so I just want a smaller container. Just like I'm going to do probably with something like this, since I'm only going to probably be using a cup at a time. As you can see, that's not really much of a difference. So I could probably put that into a smaller container and just keep that outside, because that's a witch to open with the lid. Oh, especially with my hands. But anyway, guys, I'm going to quit chatting, at least for this clip. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my gloves and turn on some music and drink my coffee, and we're going to start getting our hands dirty with all of this fun stuff. And I can't wait to see how many tries. I'm going to try to do a poll later on to see how many tries of this it takes to achieve what I'm really trying for. But okay, guys, I'll see you in the next clip. And welcome back, guys. Okay, so for this clip, we're going to be making liquid starch. And we're just going to be using everyday cornstarch. I'm not sure what this is called everywhere else, but you can basically find this at any grocery store or places like that. So that's great. And we're just going to do 1 tablespoon. And if you don't have a tablespoon, guys, just remember that it takes 3 teaspoons to make 1 tablespoon. And I'll have something on my site and maybe up on this video as well to kind of help us with that. And what we're going to do, I actually boiled up 5 cups of water because we need at least that much for the clay and 1 cup of water for the liquid starch. So it's 1 cup of water for liquid starch for 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch to make it all up. Now, I'm not sure how important this part is to do separately. I'm just going to do 1 cup in here and make it up with you guys so you see what kind of consistency it is. Don't worry about the little chunks that's there. That's just from the flour. So yeah, but I wanted to at least show you guys what's going on so you see how much water we have. We're not probably, I don't know how much water we're going to need. But yeah, so this is just, like I said, really easy. You can also buy liquid starch in like your laundry department. Okay, so this is 1 tablespoon, and as you can see, I already got it there. Now what I'm going to do is just take out, I mean, honestly, guys, be careful when you're doing this. Like anything, you can get seriously burned. I'm just going to do this because, well, I'm home. So we're going to do it like, well, we're family, and we're just going to do it. So that's 1 cup, and that is going to be, so about the 22, oops, sorry about that, guys. I'll get used to the camera, I promise. So that's going to be about right there. So we're just going to go ahead and dump. Okay, so you're just going to dump it. I'm going to go ahead and just use my same stir stick and mix that up. Get it all on the edges there. So that's basically what you're looking at. This is actually half a cup, which I'm okay with, to tell you the truth. If we need more water, we can always add some later on with this water. So that is a half a cup of liquid starch, and all I used was 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay, guys, so we are back, and we have our 6 cups of flour. We have our 1 cup of the joint compound, which is 3 of these scoops, and I just got this out of my detergent, my laundry detergent. I'm just go ahead and scrape all this out because I just want all of it. This is like one of the reasons I'm so excited is I finally have this And as you can see, it comes off really easy. I'll show you what I'm doing with my hands. Always make sure that you test any type of chemicals on your skin to see how it's going to react. Also check any of the ingredients to see how toxic they are, because you need to make sure of that before you jump into something. But yeah. So we have that. We have our 1 cup of the starch. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in here in a second. But I'm going to get most of my dry stuff. This right here is 1/2 cup of salt, and that is to help with the mildew, and it kind of helps and stops that. And then we have the wonderful glue. Now, if you do not have access to Elmer's All Glue, and that's what this is, you can. I also have a video of homemade glue, and I made it with whole wheat flour. So get all that yummy goodness down. Okay, so what else you can do to make sure you get all of this wonderful glueness and the joint compound out of your utensils is, while the water is still warm, or definitely warm, I mean too warm-ish, is go ahead and put some water and wash it out and just run your utensils there. And that way you're still adding the liquid that you need, but you're not really wasting any of the materials, because you really do want all of the full ingredients, right? Okay, so what I have here is just an everyday wooden spoon. And this is a mashed potato. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll try to keep those. I'm going to be using this for a lot of things, actually. This is just a mashed potato masher. I don't know what it's actually called, but I found this at our local dollar store. And I'm just going to see how that works with that. But I am going to just use an everyday hand blender as well. Let's see if I can. An everyday hand blender as well. And you can pick these up at Walmart, at thrift stores. I mean, pretty cheap. So go ahead and do that. And next on our list is going to be 2 tablespoons or 2 capfuls, depending on what you prefer to use. And this is just everyday pine sol. This is also to help with the mold and mildew, to kind of keep them. Also, it smells good. So that is always nice, because it will start to kind of smell like anything would. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 tablespoons. And I'm just going to use the same utensils, because you know it's all going to need to be cleaned anyway. So that would be 6 teaspoons if you do not have a full tablespoon. Okay, and this is our 1/2 cup of liquid starch. And by golly, I think we have it, other than the paper fibers. That, like I said, you guys can use a whole bunch of different things. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of get this working first off. I will be fast forwarding the mixture parts, but I wanted to make sure it's kind of in there so you guys got to see all of the stages so you know what you're working with. Not just the end or the beginning. You get to see the whole thing. But yeah, it might be in fast forward. So yeah, that's definitely going to need some water. And this is our water here. I made up 5 cups, and we've only used 1/2 cup. So this will have 4.5 cups max. So we know how much we use in this. So later on, we can always know we use that exact amount, so we can always justify it. Do remember, depending on the season, the weather, all of that jazz, where you're at, the moisture will differ. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and just add as we need. Do remember, you still also need to add in the paper fibers. But with this, how I seen this in the first, goodness knows how many videos I watched. This is supposed to be what they keep saying, a light pancake batter. And you'll also find that when you're talking about pours, when I start doing my paintings, I'll talk about that. And honestly, I don't make pancakes. That's all my husband's doing. So I'm going to have to make some pancakes and see what they're talking about to show you the difference one of these days, because I sure need to know the difference. Especially if I'm going to be saying it's like a pancake, right? And that's why I use a, this is just an everyday trash bag for my mat. And that way, if anything does like spill over like I have been, I can just pull it inside out and then everything's just nice and clean. And you can reuse it or you can toss it. Which I reuse mine, I really do. I mean, it's only one side. Okay, so right now I have all the water in. I'm going to actually clean this up a little bit. But I kind of have this where it's still kind of a moisture mix. Almost like oatmeal. It's at this point it's kind of like a cream oatmeal. And yeah, and that's just because it's really just, that's what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and start this on fast forward. I'm going to go ahead and take my handy mixer and start mixing this up and let you guys see how that kind of mixes in. And then we'll start in with the paper fibers, and I'll bring that container over and show you what that looks like, which if you guys want to start making your own out of like newspaper, if you still get newspapers, you can use stuff like that. So yeah, this would be great. And I'll see you guys after the fast forward. Okay guys, so I've mixed this up, and as you can see, it's pretty creamy. It's coming off the spoon pretty easily. This is what I would call pancake batter if I was going to make pancakes. I mean, of course we can't use this now because we have the joint compound and all of that. But I'm actually going to go ahead, it was much creamy, watery, the ones I've watched, but I'm just going to take it as I'm going to follow the instructions. And then we'll see. And we can always add water. I mean, I know I made up 5 cups, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay guys, so this is just a regular everyday laundry detergent container. I mean, if you're going to, you know, this is great for lots of different things. Just clean it up and it's really great. But this is like one of the things that I'm excited about. This is from the recycled newspaper. I'll have all that links from the insulation, and you actually use this for attics and roofs and homes and stuff, but this is really good with this. You will find little trash in there, but just go ahead and pull those out. I mean, if you really don't mind in your clay, and you're not baking it anyway, little things like that kind of brings a little bit more character, but it depends on what you're doing. So that's all up to you. But yeah, this is basically, oh, I'm touching it and it's falling apart. Okay, so what I went ahead and did was grab 4 more cups of water and just kind of set up the camera a little bit differently so that we can see what we're doing. So my hand kind of goes out of the way, you guys see what I'm grabbing. But it's basically what you see is what you're going to be getting. I do have my hand mixture next to me. I have my little tools. And now it's the fun part of actually getting our hands dirty. I mean, if I'm going to get dirty anyway. It is still pretty chalky with the flour. But I'm thinking if once I start getting my hands worked into there, I'm going to work out all those extra bubbles. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, I don't mind any of these flecks with the blues and reds and stuff. Yeah, I'm most likely gonna grab a mask. Yeah. Help! I've been plucked. It's actually pretty soft too. If you I mean, honestly, it is pretty soft. But it's gonna harden like nice. Okay, handy dandy mixer, and I'll see you guys on the press. Okay, so I could probably keep going with my handy mixer there, but it's starting to make that funny noise and then it's starting to smell, and I just don't want to break it yet. And you know, it's, yeah. That was only a few handfuls. That's pretty moist, if you like that word, right? So I'm going to just go ahead and throw in a few more and see how that works. Okay guys, so we are back. As you can see, I'm keeping everything fast forward for you guys, so at least you get to see how this comes together. I just like to see how it comes together. I mean, I like being able to fast forward it for one. I think that would be a really cool tool to have for you guys. But I just wanted to, like I said, I just wanted, plus it's just really good to see how it works. Yeah, but I just wanted to show you guys this. And as you can tell, it comes apart pretty good. I worked this one with my hands a little bit more than the rest of it, and I think I'm just going to leave it that way because I'm going to work with it with my hands anyway, and I just really don't want to push the fibers in together too much. Because the more you squish, and especially if you're using any other type of paper, the more you squish the paper, the more it's going to condense and get more harder to work with, where you want more of a kind of a smooth texture. Or at least that's what I've seen. So this is, like I said, the first time I made it. But as you can see, just in the texture-wise, this one's a little bit darker. That's just because of the joint compound and the glues. And all of that stuff is getting worked into the paper fibers that we have in this container here. And yes, when you're working this stuff, you want to pay attention to what color fibers are in your paper. You want to pay attention to any of the excess colors. I'm not sure if you can see this, like these little big cardboard pieces here kind of stick out a little bit more. And you just want to make sure that you have there's no streaks of white or any of the colors that you might be using. You could also put in your paints if you don't mind your hands getting painted. As we all know by now, I don't. So yeah, this is just, I mean, I just love how this feels. As you can see, I mean, you do have to pay attention. It is clay, so it is going to bunch up. But I really do like this. There's not a whole bunch of bright colors that are like super like sticking out to me. I am seeing a little bit of, you know, the cardboard. I'm seeing blues and greens from the recycledness and some little reds. We have to have the reds, but you know, that looks like the color I'm not going to say because we don't like that color. But yeah, I mean, just look at this, guys. It's going to be awesome. We'll go ahead and just, and as you can see, oh, guys, you just don't know. It's going to be so pretty. It is a little tacky still, a little, you know, but I think just working that in there with my own, yeah, when you do this, you might want to, you know, be careful with that because you never know what's going to be in here. And it is a little sharp. So yeah, just be careful when you're squeezing. That if you do feel anything kind of sharp, you don't keep going. But, I mean, you all know this, but you never know. It's okay. I think that's really great. It's smooth. I mean, I'm working that with my hands pretty easy. Yes, it broke. But hey. But it does have a nice texture here, so that's going to grab on. I might actually use this as another type of a tool. I mean, could fix that as well. Just a little bit of glue. Goodness knows we have some, right? Okay, and then I'm just going to work that down. Do remember that this is air drying clay, so you can just let this sit out for a few days. But you do also want to get it as even as possible so it dries evenly and you don't get cracks. But if you do get cracks, it's fine. Goodness knows I'm going to have some, so we'll work out those all together. But because it is air drying clay, you just get this wet again and then grab a little more clay and then just go right back over. Like, let's say this dried. I'm not sure, but you guys can actually see that because I can see it from my little teeny guy here. If let's say that dried just like that, and now I have all these like cracks, I have all of these indentations. I want to like clean up the back and add more texture to that. So what you do is after it dries and you like that, what you can do is a few things. You can get your washcloth or a brush or whatever you feel comfortable in, and you can wet this section. Go ahead and grab some more of your clay and then just go over it again. Some people, I'm not sure, I haven't like really sculpted yet, so I haven't learned all this techniques. Well, we'll learn that together. That's the fun part. Now, if you don't have like anything to score with, you just kind of like give a little, 1, 2 or whatever you feel like. And then that actually makes the clay stick on a little bit better, so that you're able to do that. And then you also just want to wet it down a little bit to kind of smooth out the edges. But yeah, and then you just kind of pat it down. And like I said, the colors are great. This is pretty. And that's gonna really take a Mod Podge or any of the light colors nicely. So you don't really have to focus too much on only certain colors. Yeah, I mean, that's coming on pretty good, guys. And watch, we'll even do that. We'll clean it up here. And then if you want to flatten that out, I mean, look how nice. That actually took it pretty good. I really don't know if you guys can see. You can. Nice. Look at that detail, guys. Just look at that. And that's just from this little guy there being on for a few seconds. Terrain. I mean, come on. Look at that beauty. Oh, okay. We have to try that again, right? Okay. So, look at this, guys. I did it. I did it. Okay. Dragon head next, right? Dragon head next. I will try to contain myself and get this video out for you guys first before I do the stream. But if not, please, I understand. Oh, look at that. That's going to be a freaking... Oh, I'll put that on a hill, like a road, going up a hill. That would be cool. And that's pretty thick. Oh, that came off pretty... But, I mean, you're going to want to pay attention. If that was a cardboard or something, that would have worked perfectly, because that was actually really good on there. And it's easy to tear apart, so if you want to do some roads. Oh, I can't wait to do roads, guys. Oh. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've been reading that this can stay up to 3 weeks. But make sure you do have another container to keep this in. Little bubble wrap, or even use the your little cover here. You know, it's just an everyday trash bag. Just seal it up really good. If you guys do make this, definitely show it. I mean, I would love to see what you guys have. If you have any other hints or tips or anything that you'd like me to try, we can definitely do something. I am excited. I am going to try to get this video edited. And guys, I'm just so happy. I am so happy. We're going to get some dragons going. I'm going to get some really cool stuff. Look at that. It goes into a circle. Oh, learn how to paint that up. Guys, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It looks like a cookie. Here, my cookie to you. And you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. If not, at least I hope you smiled. I'm going to actually go ahead and probably give you guys a little bit more pictures. I'm going to make probably a little figure. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see who is created tonight with this. But I won't go too far with them. And we'll let it dry just so I can show you guys how it dries. Probably I'm going to do... We'll see. I'll see you guys in the next clip. If not, definitely pay attention to some updates. Because we are definitely going to be doing a stream with these. Oh, I'm not disappointed, guys. I'm not disappointed. I usually am. Alright, bye.